Got down to work this morning and it was real foggy. Foggy most of the day. About 1 o'clock it kind of cleared up. It was just an unprecedented weather day. I mean, we're just about up till Christmas now, and it got to 58 degrees. It broke all records. My thing still says it's 49. That fog burned off at work at around, I don't know, 1 o'clock or so. And now there's storms coming up from Iowa, and all that was on the radio today was how these storms are going to be so strong. I mean, it's, like I said, almost Christmas, and it's going to be raining. It was 58 down there today. Tomorrow's high is around 20 degrees, so they're going to get rain. Then we're all under a high wind warning with gusts are going to go over 60 miles an hour. There's going to be straight line winds. There's tornado warnings down south. And anyway, the next day and a half here, starting tonight and through tomorrow, is going to be kind of interesting. There's supposed to be some snow on top of that. So yeah, I'm just heading up that. I finished what I thought was my last job of this season. But now I got 3 calls today on other jobs that are upcoming, so we'll see. But anyway, I was happy to get that one done when the weather was nice. Now I'm heading up to the farmhouse. Can't even see where the road is. Well, tonight I unloaded stuff out of my truck because it'll be a little bit before I have another job coming up. I got the tools into the workshop. I hate to date the videos, but we are, we're like a little more than a week before Christmas in Minnesota, and it is thundering, lightning, and raining. And right now it's like 46 degrees here, where my brother Chris and his wife Teresa live over in Fargo, which is about a 4-hour drive. It's 10 degrees. The cold is coming. This is going to be a mess tomorrow. Okay, everyone. Well, it's 10:15. It's time for bed. It's 46.8 degrees right now. This is ridiculous. It's going to be really interesting to see what it's like in the morning. Good morning, everybody. That storm has definitely went through. It's still light snow right now, still windy, but that wind advisory is supposed to drop down in just a few hours. And the temperature is supposed to drop all day long, and tonight it'll be in the single digits. A couple of projects I guess my dad's working on. Still working on that birdhouse thing there. I have no idea what these 2 pieces of diamond willow are for. He was out here earlier this week for one day. I'm not real sure what I'm going to be doing out here today. I have a few projects in mind that I could do. I'm going to put all this stuff away that I brought back from work. I did buy a new belt sander for out here that's sitting over there, so yeah, but I'm going to let it warm up in here for a while. Well, I brought back into the workshop this weathered wood that is the same pile that I made the 2 stools and that center kitchen island thing that I have. I have a project I want to do. I want to make a little, right now Melissa's mixer, her whatever it is, KitchenAid mixer, sits on one of the stools. I need to make one that's just a little bit wider, taller, and definitely wider for her to set that on. And I think I'm going to make that out of this because then that'll all match. Melissa and I are actually going to go out to lunch today to Pedro's in Cloquet. They move locations and they're always packed. So we've never went there. We used to go there at the old location, but we wanted to try the new one. And I would think today, the way the weather is, people might be staying home. Might be some parking. We'll come back out here this afternoon and we'll get started on that little table. Okay, for this project, like I said, it has to kind of match the 2 stools and the center island table thing that I built inside the house. We need to be, it only has to be 16 inches wide, 30 inches deep. I could go 32. And then for up and down, a total of 32 inches, but we're going to put wheels underneath it again like I did the one for the freeze dryer. Shelf that'll be 6 inches off the floor to the top of it. But with this one here, I need to put a couple things that are almost like a breadboard that comes out, because her mixer, if this is the table, her mixer will sit here. Right now it's sitting on one of the stools, which is only 14 inches. This will give a couple more inches, but once she puts that stuff on the front and then you have to put a bowl there to catch it, you can't do it. We have to keep picking it up and putting it on the upper part. So if I think we're going to put it, like the mixer, off to the side, because I don't want to have, if this is 30, I'd have a 24-inch wide breadboard, and that's going to do nothing but warp. So I think I'll either put 1 or 2 breadboards that can pull out, and they can be down lower, like it shows right here, and then they can just pull out. And then no matter what side she has it on, that bowl can sit on there. And we don't have much room, you know, when you're walking through that kitchen, between this corner and the corner of the island, there's not a lot of room. So this isn't something that can stick out all the time. But I need to go inside and look underneath the tables. I cannot remember. Like, I'm only going to have 2-inch by 2-inch legs on this instead of the 6-inch by 2-inch that are on the center table. But I can't remember when I went up inside there if I have a 2x frame underneath the top or not, because that tells me how long to cut my legs, which is how I start all these, so that I can get it up inside and get it fastened right. So I'm going to run in and look at that, and then we'll come out. I finally got all that stuff put away so I can get started on this. Well, I built both of those tables differently, but close to the same. In each case, the leg comes up and the actual top of the table is attached to it. In one of them I have a 2x6 that's cut around it. The other one I did not for the stools. So I guess what I need to do is figure out how thick the top is going to be. Then we can subtract what the wheels are going to be, and that'll give us our leg height. So I guess the first thing I'll do is get a couple boards cleaned up for that top. I definitely want to use this one to wrap around the outside. I believe that's 2 1/4, or even if it was 2 3/4. I have 5 3/4, so I could run it through the saw and the planer on one side, and this would work. So I think I'm going to save this one for that. And I think this one is my best bet for that top. It's not as thick as I would like, and it's not evenly thick. I mean, it's already at 7/8. Doesn't really have much cup to it though, which is good. And I need that to be 16 inches minus the 2, 16 minus 2, so I need to have 14 inches, and this is 7 3/8, so I can clean up both sides. And I think I can make this one work. I don't know. The ends are not very good. This side doesn't look too bad. I end up with a 3/4 inch top. I'm not super happy about this because these boards are kind of like this. But it is what it is. I mean, that's how the other one was too. I can remember being unhappy with how things fit together. Since this is raw lumber, I can't run this side through the planer because that would ruin the whole entire look of it. So you have to deal with this kind of stuff. But if you put enough varnish on there, or poly, it fills everything in really nice. Building the table is done now. It's just doing the finishing parts of the breadboard. You can see I've got the slot in there, and I think I'm just going to make one that goes almost all the way across. Just instead of running the board this way, I'll run them this way and put them together so I don't get so much warping. But it's a little bit after 7 o'clock right now. I'm going to run in for a few minutes, and I don't know, maybe I could still put the first coat of poly on this tonight. Everything else I have to do isn't going to be affected by that at all. And I'm going to want several coats on this table. Well, I ran inside and got my sidekick Joni. Joni, what are you doing? I'm going to put that coat of poly on so that one's the one that takes the longest to dry anyway. If I can get that one done, then tomorrow I can finish up the breadboard and just keep putting coats of poly on here. And for those of you that didn't watch me build the other tables or don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about the center island and the kitchen, none of this gets stained or anything. I just put the poly on right just like it is, so it's going to have this real rustic look. It's going to darken up somewhat here, and it'll match in. And that's why I didn't. Some people say, why don't I shoot this with brads or come in from underneath? This is the look I wanted. It's going to match the other ones, and it's just it just makes for a real nice rustic little farmhouse kitchen look. Just like with the freeze dryer table, I'm going to use a clear semi-gloss, and like I explained in that one, I like poly because it gives it a yellowish look to it, or the oil-based anyway does. And I can always, if it doesn't match I think the other ones are clear gloss or clear or semi-gloss. If not, you can always put satin over it; it'll dull it. So. That's enough for tonight. It's about 20 minutes to 8. I'll just come out here a couple more times and fill up that stove so it stays warm all night. And we'll continue on this tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. I was out here, I don't know, hour and a half ago and started the stove, or put more wood in there. It was 51 degrees, now we're up to 69. What is it outside? It says it's 4 degrees. Everything's nice and dry on here, so I just want to get these cross pieces in for the breadboard. And still trying to figure that out. Well, I'm going to let the breadboard dry. I'm going to run inside and take a shower, I think. And yesterday we never did get to go out to eat because the weather was just too crappy. So I think Melissa and I am going to go down to her work and, I don't know, maybe we'll go to Perkins or somewhere and have some lunch. Oh, let's go find Melissa and find something for lunch. Look how that wind took that overhang right off there. Next spring, that's got to be the first project, is putting a new metal roof on that building. Lunch is done, and then I hung out at Melissa's office for, I don't know, 45 minutes or so. Heading back into Minnesota now. I'm going to stop at Menards because I'm down to maybe 1.5 inches of polyurethane in that can, so I want to get a couple more. Went in there for a $12 can of semi-gloss, and somehow $108 later I'm heading back home. Happens every time I go there. Oh, I'd say the table is done. That breadboard, that was a lot of messing around to get that to work right. I can just see it getting real humid out and it not working as good as it does right now, but we'll see. So now I'm going to go over this with the sanding block lightly, and then we'll put another coat of poly on here. I really wish I could have done more down here, put a second shelf. It just looks kind of, it doesn't look as meaty, if that's a word, as I like it. But Melissa has stuff to stack underneath there, so putting a second shelf would limit what she could do as far as a pot or something with a certain amount of height. And I don't have enough lumber anyway, of this kind of lumber, to do it anyway, but it's definitely going to serve its purpose just perfectly. Now that that breadboard works, I was kind of worried about that. Didn't know how much it would sag when you pulled it out or anything, but it seems to be pretty good. Well, I can let that dry now, and maybe I'll be able to come out in a couple hours and get another coat on. Second coat always dries much faster than the first one does. It's 9:35 right now at night. I do want to get one more coat put on this table because it might be finished then in the morning, because I know it'll be dry by then. If this was a table like the kitchen center island table that gets a lot of use, I mean that thing is constantly being used, I would probably want anywhere from 6 to 10 coats of this on it. I can't remember how many I put on the actual island table, but it fills everything in, and it's just, and we use the heck out of that thing, and it is really holding up well. This will not, this will get used, but it's just sitting there with the mixer on it. That's turning out really nice. Okay everyone, well thanks a lot for watching. I can't wait until bringing down the garbage can now that my work season is kind of coming to an end. Although I got another text today about a job that needs to be done right away, so it might not be done at all. But anyway, I'll have a lot more time for doing filming out here in the workshop and around the farmhouse. I will see you guys on the next video.